should definitely go back and watch this one.
Yes, and I didn't pay enough attention to this match, and I really wanted to. I started dozing off because of my long day and my cold, and I stopped it after this match. I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch that match, and I'm going to watch the rest of it. And then I didn't get around to it because I suck and I feel bad, but I will.
Oh, it's life.
Yes.
And we had, less than 24 hours to get it done in, so hello.
That street fight, though, is definitely enough to bring me back to finish out this pay-per-view. And if you don't watch it for any other reason, I recommend you watch it for that.
And speaking of that, next up we had two amazing pro wrestlers, Alex Shelley defeating Colt Cabana. This was a match that wasn't advertised, at least as of last night when we dropped it. So that's
no,
cool,
Shelley called out Colt in the pre-show, actually.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. This one, I'm not ashamed to say I was disappointed in. Alex Shelley is kind of showing his age. He is one of those Seth Rollins, Kenny Omega, one of those guys who's just so amazing in the ring, and the innovator of sliced bread too. Not the originator, but I think his sliced bread too is one of the best ever. And he was just off, I'd say a step and a half, not even just a step. And Colt Cabana, who is a fun wrestler, and he's been getting serious on NWA, and I actually like that better, I think.
Yeah.
But he's never been, at least in my opinion, the greatest in-ring performer.
No.
And this to me was the JR's got me on a new term, the let 'em up match. I used to call it the bathroom break. He calls it the let 'em up match. Just let 'em up. Let 'em up get a Coke. Let 'em up go to the bathroom. Let 'em up check their phone. It's a let 'em up match. This seemed like a let 'em up match, and if I'm talking to people who don't have a lot of time, if you're going to watch this pay-per-view, I'd say you could skip this one and you're not out anything.
Yeah, and I came into this with no context, but on the pre-show when Alex Shelley wanted to fight Colt Cabana because he respects and admires the man, like, to me right off the bat, that didn't paint a very solid picture. Like, I don't think you're going to have the best match.
Yeah.
If there's something behind it. I get the respect thing, but like you said, Alex Shelley's showing his age. And so for two wrestlers who are kind of probably showing their age.
And Alex Shelley, he's done amazing solo matches, but he shines most in either tag matches or multi-man matches. Of course, he was part of the Motor City Machine Guns, which was one of the greatest tag teams along with Beer Money Inc. in Impact history. And then he went to New Japan and became part of one of the greatest tag teams there with Kushida as the Time Splitters. Hello? So he can do good solo matches, but that's not where he shines the brightest. And maybe it's because, maybe that's one of the things that he needs help hiding. Maybe that's one of the things he's not going forward. The older he gets and everything, maybe he shouldn't have solo matches.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isha. But I think there's a reason that this match wasn't advertised on the card beforehand.
Yeah. It's not putting butts in seats. To steal a phrase from Tony Schiavone. But then we had Maria Manic defeating Angelina Love, and probably the one that I was most hesitant about who I was going to pick to win.
Yeah. I had to pick the veteran of the bunch, as much as I don't agree with it. I know they've put Angelina Love over in the past, when I haven't agreed with it. So I figured they might do it again, and I was wrong.
Oh, yeah, and Maria Manic is new to the promotion, so you just don't know. Are they going to try to push her right away because she's new? Are they going to, let her lose and build her up? Angelina Love, of course, has the Allure stable, which is the biggest stable in Ring of Honor right now and is a huge part of Women of Honor.
Hey, our friends Allure from Galactic Get Down 2 years ago should probably jump on that and say, hey, better give us some money.
I think you're right. And then there's the whole thing that, again, really doesn't mean anything in business. But sometimes when people have relationships, Teddy Hart just left MLW and Maria Manic is his girlfriend. Are they going to try to keep Maria Manic happy to maybe persuade Teddy Hart to come over? Because
lure him in.
So this was a good match. I liked it. It isn't the best women's match you're going to watch this year, but it was a solid women's match from a veteran and an up-and-comer that both, I think, played their part just well. I mean, this is just a solid, if you want just a solid A-minus match that's fun to watch and you're going to enjoy it, but you don't expect anything super innovative out of it, this is good. This is not one I would skip.
Yes. Well, I'll definitely be checking it out when I make my next playthrough. Up next, we had the Ring of Honor television title match, seeing Dragon Lee defeating Shane Taylor for the Ring of Honor television title, tying it up at 2-2 as I receive another point.
Kind of, you and I went back and forth. You won the first match, I won the second match. We both lost the third match. The fourth match wasn't advertised. I won the fifth match, and Pasty picked Dragon Lee to defeat Shane Taylor on this one, so it tied it up 2-2 with only 2 matches left to go. This was a match that is good. It is good, but I think the two styles didn't mix well to me. I was disappointed watching this match. You got Shane Taylor, the powerhouse. You got Dragon Lee, who is, of course, amazing Japan, Puro Russo, and Lucha style. They just seemed like they were having 2 different matches at the same time. They both did great stuff.
Yeah.
It just didn't, to me, it didn't gel.
Yeah, I could see
that. It broke.
Yeah, no, I had to.
So
it was a shot in the dark, but I've been hearing more and more about Dragon Lee all the time. So I just had to go with him. I think there's a growing.
Oh, and Dragon Lee's another
his
one.
Name.
He's in Ring of Honor. He's in AAA. Yeah, he's in AEW. He's in New Japan. He's one of those that just makes the rounds and is everywhere. He's a busy guy.
Yes, he is. And now he's your Ring of Honor television champion.
But this was the beginning of a trend, Pasty, that kind of surprised me.
Yes.
He is. And that is that coming up on the next match, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, the champions also lost them. Jay and Mark Briscoe, them boys that Pasty and Mac both thought were going to keep hold of them going into the new year, lost to Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham.
Ooh.
Didn't see that coming.
Ugh. Well, I did watch an interview with Proud and Powerful and Chris Van Vliet this week, and they had said that they cannot call themselves the best tag team in the world until they take down Jay and Mark. And with them saying that and this happening, I have to question whether or not the Briscoes are going to break away from Ring of Honor. I didn't see the match.
But do you think Briscoes would work in AEW? I mean,
I think as a tag
they have
team,
a possibility to, but to me, that's a real different style.
They would have to come in and immediately take the championships. You know what I mean? They would have to reign over the yard. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Santana and Ortiz versus the Briscoes.
I wouldn't mind checking it out.
Oh my God. I would throw a circle jerk party for that.
Oh, for sure. I would love it. And let's also point out that Santana and Ortiz, as amazing as they are not in the top 5 for best tag teams in the world at this point. But
no,
you got to love them you got to have confidence if you're going to be in this business. And it's awesome that they pointed out the Briscoes specifically, because the Briscoes are consistently probably one of the best tag teams that we've had in the last decade.
Yeah. I think that's very easy to say. I don't know. I didn't see this match, but to me, that's kind of what it lines up to.
It is worth pointing out also, though, that Jay and Mark have never done anything major outside of Ring of Honor. A few things over in New Japan, but they've been Ring of Honor from the beginning to the end, which is great for their loyalty.
Yeah.
But, you look at some of the old ECW guys that were amazing in ECW, and then they went other places, and they just didn't do well. I'd hate to say this, because they're one of my favorite tag teams of all time, and I put them on the list of greatest. Would they work good in any other promotion other than Ring of Honor? I'd say maybe NWA.
Oh, yeah, they'd be fantastic.
To me, that's the best I would see them in. They would work there.
I would like him, if they did a year contract with AEW, I think that would be perfect. Get him in, get your stories done, get those dream matches out of the way, and let him go. Because, a promo like NWA or even MLW is, I think, where they fit.
I would agree. Pasty, neither one of us got points for this because, of course, we went for the Briscoes instead of the Double J's.
How could you not?
I did. But that brings us to probably the second most difficult one for me to pick was Roosh defending his championship against PCO. Roosh, they've really been behind. He's got a huge push, and he's got a super upside, and he's a traveling wrestler who, again, goes to multiple promotions. He's often in New Japan. He
and his wife
Mexico.
Just lost a child.
That's horrible.
I feel like that should pertain to, him keeping his championship. Like, keep your guys' psychology going through these hard times. But
I could see that, but yeah.
They had a badass beast of a French monster strip it away from him.
The French-Canadian Frankenstein lived up to his name and put on a hell of a match that was massive, that was crazy, that went all over the ring, that had doors. Yes, folks, doors from your house brought out from under the ring. And the best line was Ian Riccaboni, who said, "He's bringing doors out from under the ring. Usually I try to come up with an excuse of why something's under the ring, but damn it, somebody just put those there." Like, yeah, why would there be fucking... Because earlier in the pay-per-view when Bully Ray was there, they pulled out ladders, and he's like, they got the ladders because they work on the trusses up above, and they need those ladders for lighting. This time he's like,
but those ladders
I make
don't
shit
reach
up usually,
that high.
but I can't even make nothing up for this. There's just fucking doors. It was awesome. I loved that he just called it out. Like, this is just fucking ridiculous, but we love it. Yeah. And then there was a moment where, Pacey, I told you, and I stand by it, I don't know yet if I love it or hate it. It's super with PCO's character, but it's also super cheesy. But there was a moment when PCO was out, down, done for, out of it. It was over. He was outside of the ring. Roosh had beat the shit out of him. And Destro came and took the hearse and ripped open the hood of the hearse and took out jumper cables and restarted PCO using jumper cables, which was just, and they had the smoke machines just shooting smoke everywhere. It was fun. It was entertaining, but it was super cheesy. And
it does harken back to YouTube's The Resurrection of PCO. I did watch the entire series. I don't know why I watched the entire series, but I did.
Why not?
And that was one of the first, I think it was the first episode, actually, when he came seeking him for rehabilitation purposes. I think one of the first things he did was hooked him up to the car battery. And he shocks him throughout every episode. Like, after training, he ends the training with a shock.
Yeah, and it's good, and that's perfect for a YouTube video,
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence of whether I like it in the match or not. I'm not saying I
love that we live in a world where you can dive deeper into the mythology behind your favorite wrestlers through these YouTube shows, and I wish it happened more, but it does affect the people who haven't seen them quite a bit. I know you and I don't see eye to eye on a whole lot of AEW storylines because I watch Being the Elite and you do not.
Right. And I come back with, and I strongly believe this, with there being easily, between 10 and 20 hours of wrestling on TV every week.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of unfair to ask me to want to tune into a YouTube video of it also.
Yeah, it's more for the hardcore
give it to me during the show. That's what
promotions
skits
or wrestlers.
Yeah, that's what skits and backstage interviews and all that kind of stuff is for. Give me a good package. Give me an awesome promo package on PCO and show me that instead of saying, Go to our YouTube, and I get it. They do it for clicks. They do it because they get money. I get it. It's a marketing thing.
AEW doesn't even direct you to watch Being the Elite. They don't even talk about it. You know what I mean? That's the downside for AEW. And they could show a quick 3-minute montage of the show, like the important parts that play storyline into their wrestling.